Hello viewers and welcome, Mike here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to rehome an ABS unit, a Delco Moran 5 unit to be exact, on this 99 Cavalier I have next to me. And also I'm going to show you a diagnostic approach to what happens when you try to rehome your ABS motor and you're told that the switch ignition voltage is less than 10.5 volts. Fix and repair before proceeding. And that's exactly what happened to me. Well, background, I replaced the master cylinder in it, and I was supposed to replace 2 tubes of some sort, transfer tubes and O-rings, or else leakage would occur. This could be the case because I've done the rehome procedure and I still don't have anything in the rear brakes. So kind of stuck here. I'm going to try bleeding them one more time once a buddy gets down here, and I don't think it's going to work. The second procedure GM has to remedy this problem is to use a pressure bleeder, but the recommended procedure is a scan tool, which scan tool I don't think is working. Could be the transfer tubes, could be. I haven't found enough information on the old interweb to answer my question yet. So as I'm stuck in thought, let me think. Sort of choppy video I've done in segments. I've ran into different problems. I've went over the material, tried explaining it to the camera, and said, well, why do I have this here? You know, oh yeah, voltage drop, and I went back to the vehicle and spent a couple more hours on it, and finally got her. So I hope you learned something and enjoy, and like I said, sorry it's not fully completed. It's not fully diagnosed down to pinpoint like why the relay control is not working with the electronic brake control module. I didn't test anything at the electronic brake control module, which is tucked up underneath the dash in the driver's side and wrapped in really nice electrical tape, and it's, yeah, I didn't want to get in there and start testing, so I did everything at relay, and I found some pretty damning evidence. So if I forget anything more, I guess I'll add it. Okay, I just turned the ignition on. I'm going to check for supply power and ground at the brake control relay, and we can go from there. Okay, right now we're reading electrical potential across contact. So first I'm going to check the pin 86, which is fed power from the ERLS fuse, the 10 amp. I will be feeding power to the control side of the relay with my test light hooked up to battery negative. I'm going to test it. Lights, good contact. Okay, we have power there at pin 86. So next I'm going to check the power going to the switch contact, pin 30 from ABS fuse. The 40 amp, which is located right here, so as you can tell, we have power there, pin 30. We have power there. Now the ignition is on, so the EBCM should have this relay closed. So let's jump over to pin 87. The switch should be closed, which you can tell there is not any voltage there whatsoever. So that leads me to believe, well, why is current not flowing? So on my test light, hooked up to battery positive, and with this EBCM, if it's controlling the relay, the ground side of it, this should ground my test light, which it's not. So I'm going to give it a ground. So I'm going to take take this test light hooked up to a battery negative, it up here. You hear that relay? And notice my multimeter? The switch contact closed. All voltage has dropped across the switch contact, which is a good thing. That means the circuit is now operating. And let's see if I have power 1087 now, switch contact, which I completely do. So there you go. Electronic brake control module, relay control is not working. There's one thing I forgot to show and mention, which I'm going to do right now. With the electronic brake control relay not operative, it does not supply power to another fuse, which is the labeled ABS fuse, another ABS fuse, but this is a 20 amp. That 20 amp feeds the left and right ABS solenoid control circuit and the electronic brake control module, so that modulates the wheel slippage in between the front wheels. And turn the ignition on. This circuit is only on with the key on. So I find my test light, hooked up to battery negative, make sure it works, which it does. As you can tell, I have nothing there. So I'm going to artificially become the ground, the computer, whatever you may have. And now that circuit's working. Power comes down here. Computer supplies at ground. Closes, circuit flows, closes that contact, which supplies power to this fuse, which goes down the control side for the wheel speed sensors and the motor. Okay, here's a screenshot of my ABS battery voltage, and I would imagine with the key on, the enable relay should be on, but it's not. So that's I guess an indication that EBCM is not enabling the relay. So here's what happens when I do it. Battery voltage. So I'm going to show you the rehome procedure. And go down to functional tests, motor rehome, and show you what it comes up with the ground removed. Switched ignition voltage less than 10.5 volts at EBCM repair is necessary. Alrighty, I have my artificial ground hooked up. You could hear the ABS motor do its thing. Now it's complete.